What's going on, Avengers? Today, Friday, October 30th, 2020, there's a Marvel's Avengers developer stream with Phil Therien. Sorry if I messed that name up. He's the Warzone director and the head of the Avengers Initiative, so all the endgame stuff. Him and Andy Wong, who I believe is head of social media for Marvel Avengers, they did a little developer stream. These streams are going to happen every Friday. This is stream number 2. It's labeled as number 1 because the first one was number 0. They did a little personal stream for about an hour. This was on Twitch, and they kind of answered some fans' questions and played some drop zones and stuff like that, and it was just like a little good personal time, I guess. They did answer some fans' questions, but they were a little skeptical on the dates. They kind of withheld that, so I'm just going to kind of summarize the stream up, what questions were answers, what kind of stuck out to me, and what was interesting. I'm going to go for what I think will happen first, and then we'll kind of go on to what will happen way later after Kate Bishop and stuff like that. Okay, so anyways, they played on their personal accounts, and they were playing with fans, which was great. Phil, he mentioned a lot about working from home and how much of a drag that can be just on resources and how you communicate with your colleagues and stuff like that. Internet speeds and dialing everything in. About the first 25% of it, he kind of hit on that quite a bit. Kind of a thing I think fans need to realize, that it is a lot tougher. You can't just stand up from your desk and walk over to your colleague and ask a question, or your team leader, like, hey, is this what you're talking about? So I think that was a good thing to hit on. It was real personal. They were playing with fans on their own personal accounts. Their accounts were, they were low level, so it wasn't no developer accounts where they're super powerful and stuff like that. And they kind of just gave off this whole, it's real chill vibe, which was pretty good.
Thank you, Janimals. Thank you. It's really kind. We are trying our hardest in these times, and we really appreciate comments like that. So
okay, so let's get onto the actual news and the stuff that he was talking about. Okay, so ping system and the Jarvis dialogue update. He's gonna fix Jarvis on how much he speaks and stuff like that. They were saying that's coming in on the next patch. Okay, now rolling into cloning labs. This was one of the more interesting things he was talking about. He said that they're testing the cloning labs this weekend, and he said, quote, "We'll see how that goes." The cloning labs will be there before Kate Bishop, and they're testing the cloning labs because right now the bosses are very simple. And later on down the road, about 45 minutes in the stream, he mentioned that it was fun to play as Thor in the cloning labs. So that seemed interesting to me because it seems like they are playable at the least. Also, Phil said something about introducing a new Inhuman character, and that was said with a spoiler warning.
Cloning Lab is before Kate, yes.
Yeah.
And yes, there's more Inhuman stuff coming. Actually, we're working on something for Inhumans. It's not a huge thing, but it's a cool thing. I'm hoping to get that in one of the next patches. It has something to do with an Inhuman that a lot of people have talked about.
A derivative of Terrigen.
Potential spoiler.
I've never seen anything like it.
Are we in danger here?
And just moving on from that, they are actively fixing an Inhuman mission that is bugged, and actively fixing some PlayStation 4 trophies that are bugged as well. Moving on to later things after Kate Bishop and later things, he did confirm that the loot is getting an overhaul and many fixes. There was also confirmation that people were mocapping right now within the studio. So that was another thing that Phil mentioned earlier about working from home. A mocap session on regular days could just take an afternoon, but now mocap sessions could be up to a week or 2. So that was another interesting thing. Probably potential Black Panther mocap. They are definitely working on more bosses. They want to do seasonal events. And later on down the line, when we get Omega level missions, they are probably wanting to look into 6-player raids. And that is pretty much it for the developer stream for the most part. Those were the interesting things that I picked out. If you watched it and found anything else interesting, let me know. All right, guys, we're going to move on to the end of the video where I kind of tell you my personal thoughts about all this stuff. For me, I would be very surprised if whatever the next update we get does have new content. I do agree with a bunch of you guys. I do feel like this game does need more new content. I feel like it would be a surprise if we got new content in the next patch. But I mean, this stream kind of right here makes me feel like the next patch might have new content in it, but I want to keep my expectations low. The reason why I don't think the next patch will have this new content of what we're wanting is because the guys over there at Crystal Dynamics set the date for Kate Bishop at least before the end of 2020. To me, that's a pretty big time frame. If I were to even cut that in half, it's still a pretty long time frame. But at the same time, with this stream going on, and he was saying spoiler warning with that Inhuman character introduction or whatever they're introducing with that Inhuman character. I'm assuming it's Dante or one of these guys. But with him saying all that within this stream, it's like the next patch might be new content. But the question is when, though. That was the one thing. And some of the fans even in the chat were saying, hey, we're not even getting ballpark answers here. We're just getting soon. And Phil even commented on that. He was like, I know I can't give you like even ballpark answers pretty much. And if I think about it too, it is kind of one of those things where they did give us a date and it didn't work out. So they don't want to have another round where they do give us a date and they can't reach that time destination and disappoint the fans yet again. In short, I believe within the next patch or two, we could possibly be getting new content, being the cloning labs and the introduction to the new Inhuman character. All before the end of November. That's my guess on a timeline here. They're trying to make a roadmap, but my guess, expectations high before Black Friday. Expectations low before Christmas, and we'll try to pump it out at the end of the year real quick before Christmas rolls around and the sales and stuff. So that's what I also think too. They need to get it pumped up and they need to get the game hyped up again for this Christmas holiday and these sales that are happening and stuff like that. But anyways, Avengers, that's my take on this stuff. Yeah, these things will be weekly. I do appreciate the support, and I'm happy to see that there's like-minded individuals that want the game to succeed as much as I do. All right, guys, that's going to be it for this video. I'm Machine Gun Mike, out.